Buddhist for you, a Buddha to be. Welcome to another one of my videos. Bear with me, and I will be covering some sutras, and I will try my best to read mindfully. Enjoy. Tell me what you think below if you found this video helpful. First sutta is the Kimsela Sutta, Right Conduct, translated from the Pali by John D. Ireland. By developing what habit, what conduct, what actions may man be correctly established in, and arrive at the highest goal. He should respect his elders and not be envious of them. He should know the right time for seeing his teacher. If a talk on Dharma has started, he should know the value of the opportunity and should listen carefully to the well-spoken words. When the time is right, let him go to his teacher's presence, unassuming, putting aside stubbornness. Let him keep in mind and practice what he has learned, the meaning and the text of the teaching, self-control, and the other virtues of the holy life. Delighting in the Dharma, devoted to the Dhamma, established in the Dharma, skilled in investigating the Dhamma, let him not indulge in talk harmful to the practice of Dhamma. Let him be guided by well-spoken truths. Abandoning the uttering of laughter and lamentations, giving up anger, fraud, hypocrisy, longing, conceit, violence, harshness, moral taints, and infatuation. Let him live without pride, self-controlled. Understanding is essential for listening to a well-spoken word. Learning and understanding are essential to meditation, but a man who is hasty and heedless does not increase his wisdom and learning. Those who are devoted to the Dharma, made known by the noble ones, Arya, are unsurpassed in speech, thought, and action. They are established in peace, gentleness, and concentration, and have reached the essence of learning and wisdom. The next sutra is the Kendara Sutta. A giver of what? As a gift of Dhamma, a deva. A giver of what is a giver of strength. A giver of what is a giver of beauty. A giver of what? A giver of ease. A giver of what? A giver of vision. And who is a giver of everything? Being asked, please explain this to me. The Buddha. A giver of food is a giver of strength. A giver of clothes or a giver of beauty. A giver of a vehicle, a giver of ease. A giver of a lamp, a giver of a vision. And the one who gives a residence is the one who is a giver of everything, but the one who teaches the Dharma is a giver of the deathless. The next sutra is the Khanda Sutta. And this sutra is the aggregates, translated from the Pali by Bhikkhu Thanisaro. At Savatthi there the Blessed One said, "Monks, I will teach you the 5 aggregates, and the 5 clinging aggregates. Listen and pay close attention, I will speak." "As you say, Lord," the monks responded. The Blessed One said, "Now what, monks, are the 5 aggregates? Whatever form is past, future, or present." Oh, okay. Shelbers. That's my cat Shelby. Anyways, continue. The Blessed One said, "Whatever form is past, future, or present, internal or external, blatant or subtle, common or sublime, far or near, that is called the aggregate of form. Whatever feeling is past, future, or present, internal or external, blatant or subtle, common or sublime, far or near, that is called the aggregate of feeling. Whatever perception is past, future, or present, internal or external, blatant or subtle, common or sublime, far or near, that is called the aggregate of perception. Whatever mental fabrications are past, future, or present, internal or external, blatant or subtle, common or sublime, far or near, those are called the aggregate fabrications. Whatever consciousness is past, future, or present, internal, external, and such, is called the aggregate of consciousness. These are called the 5 aggregates. And what are the 5 clinging aggregates? Whatever form, past, future, present, internal, external, etc., is clingable, offers subsistence, and is accompanied with mental fermentation, that is called form as a clinging aggregate. Whatever feeling, past, etc., offers and is accompanied with mental fermentation, that is called feeling as a clinging aggregate. Whatever perception, as such, is called offering substance and is accompanied with mental fermentation is called perception as a clinging aggregate. Whatever mental fabrications, as such, are clingable, offering substance, and are accompanied with mental fermentation, those are called fabrications as a clinging aggregate. Whatever consciousness is called consciousness as a clinging aggregate. These are called the 5 clinging aggregates. The next sutra is a long sutra, but a very amazing, deep, meaningful one. And that is called the One Way In Sutra, translated by the Dharmadhati from Sanskrit into Chinese and by Thich Nhat Hanh and Annabelle Latty into English. As you all know, Thich Nhat Hanh is a Zen master, a very peaceful, loving idol of mine. Okay, Section 1. I hear these words of the Buddha one time when he was staying in the Jeta Grove in the town of Sravasti. The Lord addressed the assembly of the monks. There is a way to practice which purifies the actions of living beings, eradicates all sorrow, anxiety, and the roots of afflictions, and leads to the highest understanding and the realization of nirvana. It is a path which destroys the 5 obstacles. It is the path of the 4 ways of stopping and concentrating the mind. Why is it called the One Way In? Because it is the way to the oneness of mind. Why is it called a way? Because it is a noble eightfold path, the way of right view, right contemplation, right action, livelihood, right practice, speech, mindfulness, and concentration. This explains the expression, the One Way In. What then are the 5 obstacles? They are attachment, aversion, agitation, torpor, and doubt. These are the obstacles which need to be removed. What are the 4 ways of stopping and concentrating the mind? The practitioner meditates on the inside of the body, to end unwholesome thoughts and remove anxiety, and he meditates on the outside of the body, to end unwholesome thoughts and remove anxiety. The practitioner meditates on the feelings from the inside and the feelings from the outside, in order to be at peace and have joy, and he meditates on the feelings from both inside and outside, in order to be at peace and have joy. The practitioner meditates on the mind from the inside, and he meditates on the outside to be at peace and have joy. And he meditates on the mind from both inside and out, in order to be at peace and have joy. The practitioner meditates on the objects of mind and the objects of mind from the inside, and he meditates on the objects of the outside, in order to be at peace and have joy. He meditates on the objects of mind and the objects of mind from both the inside and the outside, in order to be at peace and have joy. Section 2. How does the practitioner meditate on the body from the inside so as to realize peace and joy in himself? In this case, the practitioner meditates on the body as a body and according to its functions. When he examines it from head to toe, or from toes to head, he sees that it is composed of impure constituents, and he is unable to be attached to it. He observes that this body has hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, bones, marrow, sweat, pus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, liver, spleen, kidneys, etc. He observes and recognizes urine, excrement, tears, saliva, blood, vessels, grease, and observing and knowing them all, he is unattached and regrets nothing. This is the way the practitioner observes the body in order to realize peace and joy and be able to end unwholesome thoughts and remove anxiety and sorrow. Further, the practitioner meditates on this body in order to see the 4 elements of earth, water, fire, and air, and he distinguishes these 4 elements. Just like a skillful butcher or his apprentice might lay out the different parts of a slaughtered cow and distinguish the leg, heart, torso, and head, the practitioner, observing his own body, distinguishes the 4 elements, such as just as clearly, seeing that this is earth, this is water, this is fire and air. Thus the practitioner meditates on the body in order to end attachment. Further, bhikkhus, one should observe this body as having many openings from which many impure substances flow. Just as we look at the bamboo or reeds and see the joints in the canes, so the practitioner observes the body with many openings from which impure substances flow. Further, because the practitioner meditates his corpse being spread out and peeked at by vultures, being discovered and gnawed at by all sorts of wild creatures like tigers, panthers, and wolves, and then comes back to observing his own body and sees that it is no different. This very body of mine will not be able to escape that condition. This is how the practitioner meditates on the body to realize peace and joy. Further, because the practitioner visualizes a corpse which has lain on the ground for years, it is half eaten, felled, and impure. Then Lai comes back to meditating on his own body and sees that his own body is no different. This very body of mine will not be able to escape the condition. This is how the practitioner meditates on the body. These thoughts also help get rid of lustful thoughts and overcome sexuality and help your precepts. Further, because the practitioner visualizes the corpse from which the skin flesh has shriveled away, all that is left are the bones stained with blood. Then he comes back to meditating on his own body and sees his own body is no different. This very body of mine will not be able to escape that condition. This is how the practitioner meditates on the body. Same as the skeleton and the corpse, a collection of scattering bones in different places, the hand, legs, etc. He comes back to meditating on his own body and sees that his own body is no different. This very body of mine will not be able to escape that condition. His body will also decay in that way. This is how the practitioner meditates in order to realize peace and joy. Such as bones bleached like shells, visualizing the corpse, yellow bones. There is nothing worth being attached to, or bones that have become the color of ash are no longer distinguishable from earth. He meditates on his body, abandoning unwholesome thoughts and removing sorrow and anxiety, observing. This body is impermanent. It is something which decomposes. A practitioner who observes himself like this outside the body and inside the body together understands that there is nothing which is external. Section 3. How does the practitioner meditate on the feelings? When the practitioner has a pleasant feeling, he knows that he has a pleasant feeling. When he has a pleasant feeling, he knows that he has a painful feeling. When he has a painful one, he knows. When his feelings are neutral, he knows that his feelings are neutral. When he has a pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling with a material basis, he knows he has pleasant, painful, or neutral. When he has a pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling with a non-material basis, he knows he has a pleasant, painful, or neutral feeling with a non-material basis. This is how the practitioner meditates on feelings, and the feelings by his own insight and mindfulness. When the practitioner has a pleasant feeling, then there is not a painful feeling, and the practitioner knows there is a pleasant feeling. Same with the painful. The practitioner is aware of the rising of all dharmas and the disappearance of all dharmas. In such a way, by his own insight, he realizes peace and joy. As feeling arise, the practitioner recognizes and is aware of them and their roots. He is not dependent on them and does not give rise to feelings of attachment to the world. At that time, there is no fear, and having no fear, he liberates himself forever from illusion and realizes nirvana. Birth and death are no longer. The holy life has been lived. What need to be done has been done. There will be no more rebirth. He understands this directly. This is how the practitioner is aware of the feelings in the feelings to end dispersed thinking and remove sorrow and anxiety. Such is this meditation on the inside of the feelings and the outsides of feelings. Section 4. What is meant by meditating on the mind in order to realize peace and joy? When the practitioner has desire in his mind, he knows that he has desire in his mind. When he does not have desire, he knows he does not. When he has hatred in his mind, he knows he has hatred. When he does not have hatred, he knows he does not have hatred. Same with confusion. When he has craving in his mind, he knows he has craving in his mind. When he does not have craving in his mind, he knows he does not. When there is mastery of his mind, he knows that there is mastery of mind. When there is not mastery, he knows there is not. Same with dispersion and inattention. When there is universality, he knows there is universality. When there is no universality, he knows there is none. When there is an extensiveness, he knows there is extensiveness, same without. When there is boundlessness, he knows that there is boundlessness. When there is not boundlessness, he knows, he sees clearly. When he has not yet realized liberation, he knows that he has not yet realized liberation. When he has realized liberation, he knows that he has realized liberation. This is how the practitioner is mindful of the mind in the mind. He observes the arisings of the dharmas, observes the destruction of the dharmas, and observes both the arising and destructions. Being mindful of the dharma in order to realize peace and joy, he is able to see, know, and observe what is not observable without becoming dependent on the object and without giving rise. Because there are no thoughts of attachment in the world, there is no fear. Because there is no fear, there is no residue of affliction. When there is no residue of affliction, nirvana arises, and birth and death are no more. The holy life is realized, what needs to be done has been done, and there will be no more rebirth. All this practitioner knows to be true. Thus, in his own person, the practitioner observes mind and mind, on the inside and on the outside, in order to remove uncontrolled thought and cut off all anxiety. Section 5. What is it meant by meditating on the objects of mind and the objects of mind? When the practitioner practices the first factors of awakening, mindfulness, it is in reliance on the initial application of thought, on non-craving and destroying the unwholesome mind and abandoning the unwholesome dharmas. He practices the factors of awakening, investigating of dharmas, energy, joy, concentration, and letting go. In reliance on applied thought, in reliance on no craving, in reliance on destroying the unwholesome dharmas. This is how he practices meditating on the objects of mind and the objects of mind. Cultivate practice. Further, bhikkhus, having been liberated from sensual attachment, having abandoned unwholesome dharmas, with initial application of thought and sustained thought, with joy he delights to dwell in the first dhyana in order to have joy in his own persons. This is how the practitioner meditates on the object of mind and the objects of mind. Further, bhikkhus, with the passing of applied thought and sustained thought, a joy arises in his mind which leads to the oneness of mind. When there is no more initial application of thought and sustained thought, the practitioner, maintaining joy, enters the second dhyana, which has peace as well as joy. This is how the practitioner meditates on the objects of mind and the objects of mind. Further, bhikkhus, with the passing of thought and the constant practice of letting go of applied thought, he enjoys for himself that state which the holy ones long for, where mindfulness and letting go is fully purified, and he enters the third dhyana. This is how the practitioner meditates on the objects of mind and the objects of mind. Further, bhikkhus, when the absence of joy, when anxiety about joy and elation as well as pleasure and pain are no longer, and his mindfulness in letting go is fully purified, he enters the fourth dhyana, and that is to meditate on the objects of mind and the objects of mind. He meditates on the arising of the dharmas and the passing of the dharmas in order to arrive at peace and joy. He realizes right mindfulness in the present moment. He is able to see, know, and abandon dispersion. He is no longer dependent on anything. He does not give rise to thoughts of the world. Because he does not have worldly thoughts, he is not afraid. When there is no fear, birth and death no longer exists, and the holy life has been accomplished. What needs to be done has been done. There is no more rebirth, and everything is known in its true nature. The last one, section 6. Bhikkhus, relying on this one way of entering the path, living beings are purified, freed from sorrow and anxiety, their minds no longer subject to agitation, their understanding stable, and they are able to realize nirvana. This one way in is the destruction of the 5 hindrances and the practice of the 4 ways of stopping and concentrating the mind. The bhikkhus who have heard the Buddha teach thus applied themselves joyfully at that time to the practice. And now we will go over some short poems, verses, and quotes. Actually, that will be for the next video. Hope you guys have a nice, noble, meaningful, wonderful day.